Test. Yeah, it's working. Thank you, everyone. We're about to start. If everyone could please take their seats. Okay. We're about to start, everyone. If you can just please take your seats. Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the official pre-event press conference for the World Cross Country Championships, Tallahassee 26. It gives us great pleasure to welcome you here to the first of 6 World Athletics Series events this year, and kicking off right and early in January ahead of an absolutely packed calendar this year. So we hope that you all enjoyed very good and restful holidays, but as we know, there's hardly any time to rest when you are a professional athlete, event organizer, fan of this sport. So to kick off proceedings today, please welcome me in joining to the stage Christian Caban, Leon County Commission Chairman, Leon County Administrator Vincent Long, and the LOC co-chairs Amanda Heidecker and Taylor Wheaton. Thank you. I'm going to ask Leon County Commission Chairman Christian Caban to kick us off this morning with a few words.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunshine State. My name is Christian Caban. I'm the chairman of the Leon County Commission. For those of you watching at home or here in the crowd, I just want to say welcome to Leon County. This event is the first time that the World Cross Country Championship has been held in the United States in over 30 years. And it was chosen to be here at home for us and our neighbors in Leon County. And I just think that is something for myself, my colleagues on the county commission, and our entire community, our neighbors at home, to be so extremely proud of. It could have been held anywhere in the world. There are contestants from over 50 countries across the world. There is over 5,000 tickets sold across the world. This event will generate a projected economic impact of over $4.3 million for our community. But this is something that really could not have happened alone. This isn't, based on one individual. This has been a community-wide effort. And first and foremost, I would like to thank my colleagues on the County Commission. I believe we have some here in attendance. We have my Vice Chairman here, Commissioner David O'Keefe. We have Commissioner Carolyn Cummings. I saw her somewhere. Commissioner Rick Miner. Commissioner Maddox. Also, we have some of our neighbors from the City Commission. We have the mayor here, Mayor John Daly. Thanks for being here. City Commissioner Diane Williams-Cox. Thanks for being here. Next, most importantly, I would like to thank the World Athletics President, Mr. President Coe. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you to you and your team for believing and trusting us here in Leon County. Lastly, I just want to say this before I pass the microphone. Tomorrow, I'm going to be wearing my sneakers. I don't recommend it, but if anyone needs to tap me in, I can do it. I don't recommend it, but I can do it. So thank you so much, and good luck to all our contestants this weekend and tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. I'm County Administrator Vince Long. In keeping with the theme for this weekend, I'll be quick, right? So let me just say, for my part, in my 30-plus years at Leon County, we're not supposed to have favorites, but this cross-country facility is one of my favorite projects. And it's not just because of the result. It's not just because of big events like this, and that's an understatement, but it's because of how we got here. Really innovative employees, engaging so many partners in our community. FSU, our running community, is getting, we built this course, runners built it for runners, and our Board of County Commissioners to have the sustained vision to make this a reality over so many years amid economic ups and downs and competing priorities and resources that are never enough to stretch. This has always been a priority for the Board of County Commissioners, and I want to thank them for that. I call it an overnight success, 15 years in the making. So to the Board of County Commissioners, thank you. I want to just a quick thanks to those innovative employees that I talked about just a moment ago. At Leon County, we like to challenge our employees, and we talk about innovation, and we like to get our employees to tell us where to go next. And it's easy to sit back now and realize what a great idea this was. After 75 championships that have been held here, which have attracted 80,000 athletes and have created, so far, $85 million of local economic impact and growing. So it's easy to say it was a great idea at the time, but I remember when a Parks and Rec director at the time came to me with this idea, and let's just say it was a bold idea at the time as we were closing the landfill. I said to him at the time, are we going to call it the Methane Mile? And he said, and I don't know why that name never caught on, but that doesn't matter, because what we call it today is simply one of the best cross-country venues in the world. And so about those innovative employees, let me just thank Amanda and Taylor. You'll hear from our dynamic team here in just a moment. Yeah, let's go ahead and give them a round of applause. When your Parks and Recreation Director is a former Division I long-distance star, you get really lucky on projects like this. So to Amanda and Taylor, I can't say enough about them. Once you build it, folks, you got to bring people here, and you got to book and win these bids. And our Leon County tourism team, led by Carrie Post, I can't say enough about them. Again, 75 major championships we've brought to the facility so far, including the NCAA college championships, and now, of course, the Worlds. Finally, again, to the County Commission, again, thank you for this vision. You've kept this long-term vision, and you've kept this facility a priority. And the result of that we see today. I want to thank our district commissioner for this latest chapter in this incredible venue. You've been incredible. And to our chairman, Commissioner Caban, thank you so much for ensuring that this event is truly world-class, that we can welcome the world to a venue that reflects Leon County government, but also reflects our amazing community. So with that, Maggie, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Commission Chairman Caban and County Administrator Long. I'm now going to ask both of you to switch places with the World Athletics President, Sebastian Coe. Thank you very much. And for Mr. Paul Tergat, cross-country living legend and 5 times world cross-country champion. Thank you very much. So to start proceedings today, Seb, don't get too comfortable. I'd like to invite you over. Do you want to come to the podium, or are you happy in your seat over here? Yeah, to start with a few opening remarks. Thank you.
Maggie, thank you. And I have to say that in the last 10 years of this job, there's never been a moment where I felt ultimately that comfortable. But I'm very, very comfortable to be here today. And let me thank Christian and Vincent for their very warm words of welcome. Christian, thank you. We recognize the work that goes on behind the scenes. None of these championships are ever the evidence of it'll be all right on the night or a happy accident. We know your teams are dedicated. And Vincent, thank you also for your warm words of welcome and your observation that this is one of the best cross-country courses in the world. I've only been here 24 hours, but I think most of my colleagues think this is probably the best world cross-country course in the world. So thank you for that. Let me also welcome, we have royalty in the house this morning. We have Paul Tergat, and Craig Virgin will probably not thank me for saying this, but I think Paul is probably our greatest ever cross-country runner. 5 straight World Cross Country Championships. and any number of medals on the track, which goes to show that, yes, folks, you can do cross-country and run track at the same time. And Craig, thank you for being here, because you're the only American male athlete to have ever won a world cross-country title. So thank you for being here. We are blessed to have royalty in the house, and at this moment, I'm just going to digress, which normally drains the blood from the face of my communications team, because there are two permanent fixtures at World Athletics cross-country championships, well, at least 18 of them, standing. You won't miss them because they've got kilts and very bright yellow shirts. There's David and Neil. This is their 18th World Cross-Country Championship. They've been to every one. They've made themselves known at every one. And our last edition in Serbia, I think I actually managed to help you through the security systems. Serbians weren't used to guys wearing skirts. That was probably one of the lessons that we learned from Serbia. But great to have you here. So look, this is a very, very easy set of thank yous for me. This is the World Cross Country Championships. We're here in Florida, and we recognize that this is a state that has really reached out to us. I'd like to thank my two colleagues on the platform. You'll hear from them in a minute. And their buggy driving skills were absolutely supreme yesterday morning, taking us round the course. And I think it's probably safe to say that we are really in the cross-country capital of the United States, if not the world. So thank you for doing everything that you guys have done. As Christian quite rightly pointed out, there's been a break of some 30 years since we had a World Cross Country Championships here. We've had 3 editions. This is the 3rd edition, 1984 and 1992. I was at the 1992 World Cross Country Championships in Boston when a young fledgling junior athlete by the name of Paula Radcliffe won the junior title. And look, cross-country is one of the core pillars of our sport. For those of you who have known me for probably longer than you would want to have known me, I've been banging on about cross-country. I joined the council, the World Athletics Council, in 2003 in Paris at the World Championships. I'm delighted to see John Gressier here from the French Federation. And from that moment, I've been pushing the course and the cause of cross-country. It's an inseparable part of the journey that distance and endurance athletes make, whether they're on the track or on the cross-country. I'm surrounded by 3 athletes here, and I'm really grateful, guys, for that you've taken the time to be with us this morning. You are living testimony to the ability to do cross-country and compete at the very highest level. And I think in Paul and in Craig Virgin, we've certainly got an example of that. Most of the championships and champions from 800 through to the marathon distances have competed in pretty much most editions. So that's a very, very good and important message for our athletes. And look, the local organising committee has really set some extraordinary standards here. From the moment I went to the course yesterday morning, I saw the roller coaster, the sandcastle, the alligator alley, and I do have some experience of that. Thank goodness they were so expertly carved out of tree trunks, because I used to train in southern Florida. I was based in Tampa for large parts of the year when I was competing. And I remember very early one morning doing my usual mileage, early morning mileage on the golf course at southern Florida, just outside Tampa near Busch Gardens. And I was sort of towards the end of the run, ran past a water feature, and out of the corner of my eye saw something slithering out of the water. My father, who was my coach and fairly analytical chap, started life as a mathematician and ended up as an engineer, I had, as I saw this thing running towards me, the words ringing in my ears that you do know that over 20 or 30 yards, an alligator will outrun a man. Well, I took off like Usain Bolt, got to the clubhouse and saw 4 old boys getting ready for their early morning tee off. And they looked at me a bit shocked and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I've just seen a gator coming out." And they went, "Oh, yeah, that happens all the time." So I'm hoping that's not going to happen all the time tomorrow, that you've got the areas well cordoned off. But thank you for also being as creative as you have been on the design of the course. I know that the athletes will enjoy that, and I certainly know the fans who are going to be here in their thousands are going to do that. So, look, it really is a sincere thank you to the local organizing committee, to US Track and Field, and I know that Max and Renee are either on their way here or somewhere secreted amongst the audience this morning. And it really has been a privilege to work with such an experienced and helpful and collaborative organizing committee. So thank you to you two. Thank you on behalf of our teams here, who I know they're not quite on autopilot, but they are really enjoying the experience. This is the first of 6 World Championships we have to put on this year. I see John Ridgen, our CEO, sitting there with the blood draining out of his face at this moment, and I'm equally delighted to have been joined by my council and my executive board members who have made the journey to be with you all. So thank you to our local dignitaries. Thank you for the funding, which I know is really, really important. And thank you to Tallahassee for being such gracious hosts. We look forward to tomorrow's competition, and I look forward to welcoming many of you tonight to the local organizing committee dinner. Thank you. All right, there we go. Shall I leave all that there, or I'll leave it with you? Thank you.
Thank you, Seb. I'm now going to ask one of the LOC co-chairs, Taylor Wheaton, to kick us off.
Thank you, Maggie. As Senior Sports Director of Tourism and a former athlete for track and field, it's an honor to welcome the World Athletics leadership team, our international federations and partners around the globe to Tallahassee as we prepare to host the World Athletics Cross Country Championships. As a former athlete, I understand that tomorrow will be a day that these athletes will carry with them forever. Being able to deliver an exceptional experience for these competitors is a moment that my younger self could only dream of. From the beginning, our vision for this event goes beyond just staging a world-class competition. We set out to really have an immersive destination experience that reflects Florida's global tourism, one that's defined by energy, accessibility, and unforgettable moments. We intentionally designed the championship to weave in our natural landscape, our climate, our culture, all into the course, the fan experience, and the way that the athletes and the media engage with our community. Tallahassee and Leon County have proven history of hosting sporting events, major sporting events, and we are ready to deliver a championship that reflects the prestige of World Athletics and showcases the beauty, the hospitality, and the distinct sense that makes Florida an iconic global destination and truly makes Leon County the capital of cross country. Thank you. Tomorrow it will be.
Thank you very much, Taylor. I'll now ask Amanda Heidecker, our next LOC co-chair.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Seb. Thank you, World Athletics Council. Thank you, all World Athletics staff, our community. Really excited to be here. This has been a vision and a goal for us for so long. As the director of Leon County Parks and Recreation and a former Division I cross-country runner, I am truly honored to welcome you to Appalachee Regional Park. This venue has become a world-renowned cross-country facility built through vision and dedication of this amazing community that I call home. Hosting the World Athletics Cross Country Championships represents over 15 years that I have fortunately been part of partnership and planning. And as Commissioner Caban said, and Vincent Long said, we have hosted over 75 championships on every level. And tomorrow marks a milestone unlike any other. And I am incredibly proud to be part of that. Beyond this event and what it means to Tallahassee and Leon County, we hope that it continues to elevate the sport of cross country and showcase why it deserves a place on the Olympic stage. Tomorrow will be a record-breaking day as we host the very best athletes in the world. And believe, actually no, not believe, but we will host the best World Athletics cross-country championships to date. Thank you so much, and welcome to Appalachee Regional Park.
Thank you very much to our two co-chairs. I would now ask Amanda if you could please hand the microphone to our living legend, Mr. Paul Tergat. Paul, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Obviously, we're all very excited to have you here with us today, and it's a real honor for us how involved you still are in the sport, and especially in cross-country, as Seb mentioned, one of his favorite events as well. Could you tell us, in your own words, how you explain to casual fans the beauty of cross-country running?
Thank you, Maki. I just want to say that I'm really honored to be here in Tallahassee for this World Cross Country Championship here. Cross country is such a unique event. This is where some of us will build our careers through cross country. And more importantly, to all, nearly all other sports, they start with cross country or maybe natural competing. When I say natural, because we always run not in the track or on the roads most of the time, but we go through the woods. So for me to be able to win, and I just want to say, winning 5 times in a row was a major milestone in my career as an athlete.
Thank you. Yes, a big milestone. So, Paul, at the Tokyo World Championships this year, our friend Jimmy Gressier, who's sitting here in the front row with us, won the 10,000-meter final by 5 thousandths of a second. It reminded us all of a few races between you and Haile. Did you also feel the same?
Yes, and I want to say that to my friend, I was also in Tokyo. I was able to watch the 10,000 finals. And looking in terms of that, it gave me the memories of what it used to be in 2000 Olympic Games between me and Haile Gebrselassie. This is what sports is all about. Between me and Haile, those days, we were fighting, having an hectic or real fight when it comes to the competition. But immediately after that, we hug each other, and we say, well, let's meet the next day. But luckily, this is what we had been able to do. Haile was very good as we fight, but he had an upper hand. But again, when it comes to cross-country, between Haile and Paul Tergat, I think that was the time Haile said that he gave up also. And I believe out of that, looking in terms of our competition, rivalry and all that, good rivalry in the track, but when we came, we built a good relationship also and partnership within our families, and also as a nation. The two nations, to date, are very close because of what we used to do as athletes also. And that is why sports is an avenue and opportunity to be able to bring people together for generations. So I want to say that I'm very proud that as part being in sport for many years, and I'm still able to see what the sport has given to even the newer generations, like these guys who are competing tomorrow. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to be part of this.
Thank you, Paul. And one last one based on your comments there. The running community is one of the biggest global communities, sports-wise, in the world. And it's the basis, cross-country is the basis of all running. So how important would you say that cross-country running is to an athlete's career path?
Yes, cross-country is such a unique discipline. Every time, like even when we're here, you could see the courses. It's winding, going down, up. The beauty of it is it gives the athletes an opportunity, not only by winning, but also even in going even way after retirement, even for the wilderness. The way you are running, it's not like when you are competing in the road race. When you are on the tarmac throughout, it's not easy. Or when we are competing the track, it's different. But this cross country, you see different sceneries. Going down, going up, very sharp corners and all that. That is the uniqueness of cross country. And for me, cross country is my heart. This is what I love very much.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, Amanda, Taylor, Seb. I'm now going to open the floor to some questions from the media. So if you can please raise your hand, let us know your name and outlet, and we will get to as many of you as we can. Any questions? Gentleman over here, if we can get a microphone to him, please. Gentleman in red, thank you.
Hey, I'm Matt from WCTV, the local news here in Tallahassee. I had two questions, both for the president. Sir, could you give us a sense of how big this event is? We hear Super Bowl, you hear Olympic level. Could you put that in perspective for us? And then I had a follow-up, if I could.
Oh, it's much bigger than the Super Bowl or the Olympic Games. I mean, next question. No, look, we're delighted to be here. We've got we've got 50, circa 50 countries. Even by every other world championship standard, 50 is a really good turnout. You know, it's not your 210, 200 and whatever we have for our world championships, but on the track, but this is a really good turnout, and it's very much in keeping with where we've got 450 athletes here, and we've got, as I said, nearly 50 countries. That's a great turnout, and actually the nature of this course, I think, will be a real eye-opener for people when they are watching on the numerous platforms that they will be following the events tomorrow on.
And then my follow-up question, there's been reports that some athletes are not able to come, that their visas were denied by the State Department. Could you detail, in detail, how many athletes from which countries and that sort of thing?
No, I can't, and it's not a running commentary, I think, that's appropriate. But what I would say is visas are an increasingly complicated issue and not certainly limited to where we are here. And it's not just one, it isn't just one factor. You know, it can be about administrative timeliness. It can be about various post holders and access to those post holders. We're living in a more complicated world, and we need to continually learn from that. We've had great support on those particular issues, and from the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, USTNF have been incredibly helpful, as have local authorities as well. So we've got a good turnout tomorrow, but the world's complicated.
Thank you. Next question, Jonathan, please.
Jonathan Golt here from Let'sRun.com. Question also for Seb. It was a follow-up about that visa issue. I was just curious, has the problems getting to this meet for some of these countries, Ethiopia in particular, will that affect World Athletics' decision to host future championships in the United States?
No.
Okay.
Yes, gentleman in the back.
Yeah. Hi, Mike Sandrock from the Boulder Daily Camera in Boulder, Colorado. So thanks for you guys all coming here. And so you're Lord Co now, is that correct? We can.
Well, just for 23 years, yeah.
Yeah. So Lord Co, we can say that. Hey, just to follow up on what you said, that the world is a more complicated place than when you were racing, and to follow up on what Paul said about how sports and running can bring people together for generations. like Paul said. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and give us your feelings on that, how running in this event can bring the world a little bit closer together?
Well, look, I will go to my grave knowing that the most potent social worker in any community is sport, as our commissioners have evidenced, and our local organising committee will know the impact that has at a local level. And if it's used properly, and it's not always used properly, but if it's used properly, it can be one of the deftest international diplomats. And I've never known a sport arrive or depart from a country that hasn't left that country in better shape politically, culturally, socially. And I will always go on believing that. What is complicated, I don't think I probably need to spell that out. Those are issues that are way above my pay grade as the president of World Athletics, but my approach has always been to be historically as supportive as we possibly can under whatever system we're confronted with. And I've never known anybody, head of state, prime minister, president, members of the royal family, that haven't wanted to see their events be the most successful they possibly can be. But I think it's worth remembering that if you look at, I referred in my opening remarks to the 6 World Championships that we're staging in the course of our year, and we have the Ultimate Championships in Budapest at the end of the year, which is a very important format for us and an incubator for change. It is that pretty much we are present on every continent on the globe. And while the world is disconnecting and uncoupling in some quite dramatic ways, the one continuum in all that is sport. And I always remind my colleagues, and they certainly don't need reminding, that we are not only present in those countries, we're trading, we're building political relationships, and those relationships make a huge difference, and they will stand our sport in good stead going forward. So within the complications and the challenge, there lies massive opportunity, particularly for athletics, which is by a distance the largest and the most impactful Olympic sport.
Thank you. We have time for one last question for this first group. Yes, please.
I'm David Monty from Race Results Weekly in New York. Paul, when you were the winner those 5 times, you had to run 12 kilometers and not 10. Was the longer distance, did that play to your advantage? Thank you.
Thank you very much. During our time, it was 12 kilometers, world cross country. But again, as you just said, it is not the distance. It is the discipline itself. So cross country, that is why we are having, the dynamics has really changed. That's why we are having also the team sport, the team that they are running together, especially between the men and the female in cross country, which we didn't have those days. So it is dynamic. Things are changing, and I believe that whatever that we are doing, like this kind of event, things have really changed, and we are happy that with World Athletics, what they are doing, also even now trying to push to cross country to be part of Winter Olympic Games. That is a big step. That's how we want to see.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. That concludes part 1 of the press conference. So thank you. We can have a nice round of applause for all of our speakers. Thank you. We're going to do a photo op with the athletes and the county administrator and county commissioner. So if I could ask the athletes to please come up, and we'll all take a group photo together. So anyone wanting a photo, you can please come forward.
Careful, guys, here on these wires.
Thank you. Okay, Zach, do you want athletes closer to the middle or real kids? Athletes in the middle would be good. Yeah. Yeah, with the athletes in the middle, please. Thank you.
We need to get the photo. We got to deal with it. Get the photo.
Perfect. Please look here. Look here, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Yes, please. So for the second part of the press conference, please welcome me in joining Jess Hull of Australia, 2024 Olympic silver and 2025 world bronze medalist at the 1500 meters. Thank you. Jimmy Gressier of France, the 2025 10,000 meter world champion and 5,000 meter bronze medalist. And finally, Weini Kelati, representing Team USA, the national cross-country champion. Thank you. Unfortunately, Jacob had to pull out of the press conference, but don't worry, he is still competing here tomorrow. So Jess, thank you very much for being here with us today. I understand that you've been training in Flagstaff, Arizona for the last few weeks and putting a lot of hard working sessions in to be ready for these championships, but have you had time to enjoy the Christmas, New Year vacations? How has that been going?
I mean, as an athlete, sometimes the days of the week are the days of the week, and Christmas and New Year fall. But I was lucky enough, my brother came out to Flagstaff for Christmas, and then my family, my mum and dad are here this weekend. So Christmas was just a little more truncated for us this year. But yeah, we've been training hard in Flagstaff, getting ready for this.
So you're coming off two amazing seasons where you won an Olympic medal, a world championship medal, set world records. But what was even more stunning, I think, is your grit in reaching the 800-meter final in Tokyo last summer. Is it safe to say that you are currently more versatile than ever?
I think so. I think as athletes, we're trying to do things that keep it fun and keep it fresh. And training is hard, so when you have different things to focus on, it keeps it exciting. So the 800 was my kind of fun event last year, and kind of getting ready to start the year with some 2K cross country. You need to be versatile. It's a dynamic course out there, so kind of being ready for anything is important. And I think the way we train, we cover every base. We don't do any hurdles out in our training, but I'll be ready for them tomorrow. So versatility is pretty important to me, and I think it's going to be the key to a long career.
Your cross-country resume includes a bronze medal in the mixed relay in Bathurst, which you won in front of a home crowd back in Australia. It was a really special moment that you were able to share with your friends and family back home. Are you and your teammates ready for another podium finish here in Tallahassee?
Yeah, I think so. We have a great team. We have 4 really good pieces. But I think the concept of the relay is it's a 4x2K, and it kind of lends itself to an 8K race. So it's going to be really interesting to just see how every leg comes together. I think all of us are very lucky in that Lyndon, Ollie, Jack, and myself all ran in the NCAA. So we're kind of calling this our home championships as well. And knowing how powerful that crowd was in Bathurst supporting us, we're going to lean into that tomorrow too, as we've had cross-country experience. And we're hoping that the Tallahassee crowd gets around us as much as they get around Team USA, where some of us are equally as local.
And then last question for you. So beyond tomorrow's cross-country championships, it's set to be a very long season. We're starting early and we're ending later in the season. There's a lot of important fixtures this year. There's 6 WAS events, the inaugural World Ultimate Championships, Diamond League meetings, Commonwealth. So what will your main priorities be in 2026? How are you preparing, and where will we see you?
Yeah, it's a different year. There's still a lot of events on, but we're not ending with an Olympics or a World Championships. So I think in terms of the training and the structure of the year, it'll be very similar to normal. But I just might race a little more often because we have that luxury when you're not trying to prepare for 3 rounds of a championships to kind of race a bit more. But I plan to, as long as everything goes well and I stay healthy, I plan to run World Indoors, lots of Diamond Leagues, the World Ultimate Champs and the World Road Running Champs in the miles. So now that we've got a presence in the shorter distances at some of these other World Athletic Series events, the 4x2K relay and the road, I plan to be at as many as I can be as long as I stay healthy.
We're looking forward to seeing you. Thank you very much, Jess. I'm now going to switch. We're going to switch to Jimmy. I'm going to ask him the questions in French. He'll answer in French, and I will give a summary of what his responses are for everybody in English, as we don't have simultaneous translation. Alors Jimmy, merci beaucoup d'être avec nous. On est ravis de t'avoir avec nous au championnat du monde de cross. Mais laisse-moi te demander, parce que c'est une course qui restera jamais dans l'histoire, je crois, la dernière ligne droite au championnat du monde où tu as trouvé tes jambes pour ce finish extraordinaire.
Oui, c'est vrai qu'au championnat du monde, j'ai fini une dernière ligne droite de folie, mais je pense que ce jour-là, j'ai été transporté par un rêve d'enfant de devenir un jour champion du monde. Et surtout que sur les derniers mois, je me sentais en grande forme, dans la meilleure forme de ma vie. J'ai énormément progressé sur l'année dernière. Et puis, dans la dernière ligne droite, j'ai laissé parler mon rêve d'enfant.
So I asked Jimmy about his extraordinary finish in Tokyo and how on earth he found the strength and the leg power to pull off the final few meters that he did at the ends. And he said, yes, it was indeed a crazy final straight, but he was on a world championships high and he was in amazing shape in the lead up. And he thinks that obviously the last few meters there on the race speaks for itself. And it was kind of for him a childhood dream coming true, the finish that he had there. Puis ensuite, Jimmy, on t'a vu au championnat d'Europe, au cross au Portugal, il y a un peu moins d'un mois, où tu as semblé avoir un peu de soucis juste un peu avant l'arrivée. Comment tu as fait un peu pour peaufiner ta préparation pour les mondiaux ici?
Alors c'est vrai qu'au championnat d'Europe, dans la dernière ligne droite avec Thierry Di Colmayo, l'Espagnol, j'ai pas pu exprimer mon finish. J'ai glissé dans le tournant et donc j'étais très frustré. Derrière, je suis reparti à l'entraînement. Avec l'envie de préparer au mieux ces championnats du monde. On a un objectif très clair avec l'équipe, c'est d'aller chercher la médaille. Et donc, je me suis entraîné en conséquence pour, je l'espère, aller chercher cette médaille en équipe.
I asked Jimmy about the European cross-country championships a little over a month ago, where he had a little bit of bother towards the end, and how he's adapted his training for the World Cross-Country Championships. And he said, yes, it is true that he fell in the last few meters at the European Championships, and it was really frustrating. But it just pushed him even more to train harder, as they have a clear objective here, which is to go home with a medal. So he's using that as encouragement to make sure that they do get that medal. Aussi, Jimmy, on est ravis de te voir être l'ambassadeur de Runex, les nouveaux championnats du monde sur tapis. On sait qu'au-delà des records et des médailles, tu es un passionné de course à pied. Et ça te tient vraiment à cœur de véhiculer le message. Qu'est-ce que représente pour toi de voir la communauté mondiale de running grandir à pleine vitesse?
Alors, ça fait très plaisir. On le voit aussi aujourd'hui sur les réseaux sociaux. Beaucoup de monde se met à la course à pied. Je pense aussi que c'est l'un des sports les plus accessibles au monde. Un sport où on peut partager avec tout le monde. Et c'est bien de voir que des championnats du monde se rajoutent avec ces championnats du monde de course sur tapis. Et j'en suis c'est vraiment un honneur pour moi d'être l'ambassadeur de cette nouvelle discipline mondiale.
So, as some of you may know, I'm sure you do, Jimmy is our World Treadmill Championship ambassador, and I asked him what it means to see the global running community constantly growing so quickly, and he said that he's thrilled at how quickly the global running community is growing. It's one of the most easily accessible sports. It's one of the best things that you can do for your health, and it's amazing, he says, to see more championships being added to the global calendar with the likes of the World Treadmill Championships, which gives them more opportunities to compete. So, and he's honored to be be the ambassador of Runx. Merci beaucoup, Jimmy. Weini, I'm going to get to you now. Jimmy, si tu pourrais passer le microphone, s'il vous plaît. Merci. We only have 2 microphones. Thank you so much for being here with us today as well to represent Team USA. Just over a month ago, you won the U.S. Cross Country Championships with a convincing winning margin. Talk us through that race at the U.S. Champs and the opportunities that it's offered you.
Yeah, I mean, running the U.S. Championship was great. So I know the course was like a very similar to this and a muddy course, but I don't remember a lot. All I think is like I was thinking was like the race was going to be really close. It just seeing a lot of good runners out there, and I was like, okay, I don't have to worry until the last minute of the race because it's going to be a very close race. But it went differently, so I did not know how I ended up being at the front, and I just pushed myself to the end.
Thank you. So, Weini, I believe that you intended to maybe end your cross-country career last year, but decided to continue because the World Championships were going to be held here in the U.S. on home soil. Is this true? And how much more does it mean as you won the trial after finishing 4th in the track trials and missed out on Tokyo?
Well, I love cross country, but as I do a lot of events, and it's been like non-stop for me racing from road racing, cross country to track season. It makes it hard sometimes to train. Also, like as I'm thinking moving up to the distances, my focus was going to be just like on my focusing on the training to get used to the longer distances. Training, but when I hear it's going to be in the United States, why not to give it a try since it's home soil? Not to give it a try, but to race with the home crowd at the home soil.
Thank you so much, Weini. And then last question for you. The last time an American woman won the World Cross Country Championships, was back in 1992. When the great Lynn Jennings won her 3rd consecutive title. You weren't even born back then, but I'm sure you know your history of the sport. What would it mean for you to get the USA back on top of the world 34 years later?
Well, she was amazing on the track, road racing, and cross country. So I'll give myself a shot to finish as high as possible to help the team and improve the result that I got 2 years ago for myself.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you for taking time to answer our questions here. I'll open the floor to media, though. So if any media have questions they would like to ask any of the athletes, now is your chance. Jonathan, go ahead.
Yep. Questions for Jimmy. I believe this is the first time you've run the senior race at World Cross Country. So I was curious, why didn't you run it in the past, and what made you decide to run it this time?
Alors, Jimmy te demande, c'est la première fois que tu fais la course senior de cross-country. Qu'est-ce qui t'a encouragé à concourir aujourd'hui?
Avec Yann Schrub, qui est mon coéquipier d'équipe de France, champion d'Europe de cross, on a voulu raconter l'histoire autrement de la course à pied. C'est un sport qui reste assez individuel. Et grâce au cross, on peut allier nos forces ensemble avec les autres de l'équipe pour aller chercher une médaille mondiale. Et c'est ça qui nous a motivés. Et aussi, ce qui m'a motivé, c'est de faire mieux que ma première course. Quand j'ai commencé la course à pied, j'ai commencé tout de suite par les championnats du monde. C'était en Chine, je ne sais plus où c'était, mais en 2015. Et ça a été un moment très dur pour moi parce que j'ai fini 80e. Je venais d'arrêter le football pour la course à pied et je me suis rendu compte que le cross-country, c'était au niveau mondial vraiment très très dur. Et donc j'espère faire mieux que 80e demain du coup.
So Jimmy's saying that running can tend to be a bit of an individual activity, and what really compelled him to compete is to tell a new story in cross country, and the fact that he can compete with his teammates is a chance to combine forces to really put the best of the country they can together to try and get that medal. There's also the fact that the first time he competed, he finished in 80th place, which was a bit hard for him. So he wants to come back and prove, see how high up the podium or high up he can get while we're here this week. Javier, go ahead.
It's a question to Jimmy. I'll say it in French and then we can translate. Jimmy, félicitations pour la meilleure performance de ta saison de ta vie. Et dans quelle mesure penses-tu que le cross-country t'a aidé le succès que tu as eu l'année passée? Here's the question. I was congratulating Jimmy on his success last year, and how much credit do you give to cross-country to the success you had last year? Thank you.
Alors, je pense que le cross-country nous apprend avant tout des choses dans la vie, la résilience, la force du travail, la compétitivité. Et je pense que ce qui m'a apporté, c'est surtout dans ma jeunesse, avec l'apprentissage du cross, de jamais rien lâcher. Et puis, ça m'a servi en tant qu'athlète, mais aussi en tant qu'homme dans ma vie en général. Et voilà, sur cette course des championnats du monde à Tokyo, ça m'a appris qu'il fallait rien lâcher et y croire jusqu'au bout. Et quand je rentre dans la dernière ligne droite, c'était déjà un rêve d'enfant d'arriver dans cette dernière ligne droite avec les meilleurs mondiaux. Et là, j'arrive dans cette dernière ligne droite et en plus, je la gagne. Donc, ouais, c'était un moment merveilleux.
So Jimmy says that cross-country teaches a lot of things, including resilience, the importance of hard work, competitive spirit, and it taught him at a young age that you have to work hard and never give up. And Tokyo was the culmination of all of that hard work and all of his childhood dreams. Yeah, please, gentleman over here.
Robert Johnson with Let'sRun.com. Jimmy, what do you think the biggest reason was for your huge improvement last year? I mean, up until last year, your best showing at Worlds was just 9th, and now you're the gold medalist, the champion of the world. And in the past at the European level, when you've been winning, you've had some famous celebrations. Do you have a celebration planned already for this year, in case you win?
Alors, on te pose la question... there's a lot of improvement. Alors, tu as beaucoup augmenté ta capacité dans les dernières années. Et puis, tu es bien reconnu pour faire des célébrations un peu spéciales. Qu'est-ce que tu as planifié? Puis, si tu peux expliquer un peu comment tu as réussi à avoir les résultats que tu as eus cette année, si on veut, surtout aux championnats mondiaux, tu es rendu en première place, etc. Comment tu as fait l'entraînement? Qu'est-ce qui a aidé?
Je pense mes célébrations, elles viennent du football. J'ai joué au football jusqu'à l'âge de 18 ans. Donc, je suis un grand fan de football. Donc, voilà pourquoi aujourd'hui j'aime dans la course à pied célébrer comme si je mettais un but au football. Ce qui a fait la différence l'année dernière, c'est que par rapport aux autres années, c'est que je me suis encore un peu plus entraîné. J'ai eu dans l'année que 5 jours de vacances sans courir. De vacances 5 jours sans courir. Et je pense ce qui m'a mené à être champion du monde, c'est la régularité. Et j'ai aussi travaillé sur mes points faibles, le dernier 400 mètres, la dernière ligne droite. Et je pense que c'est ce qui m'a aidé.
So he started with the second question, and he said that his celebrations are inspired from football. He watches a lot of football, and that's where he takes inspiration for his celebrations. As-tu une célébration planifiée ou ça va être une surprise?
Je pense que pour célébrer, il faut gagner. Je pense qu'il y a des clients très costauds demain.
He says, so to plan my celebrations, first I have to win. He's like, and there's some big customers to beat tomorrow, so he'll think about that a little bit later. And then in terms of what he changed the intensity of his training. He trained much harder. He only had 5 days last year without running throughout the entire year. And what he's also focused a lot on is on the last 400 meters and on the final straight. David. Oh, sorry. Gentleman in the front here.
Paul Hoffmahoney with Sidious Mag. For all three of you, which of the added obstacles to the course do you think is going to be the hardest or play the biggest factor in tomorrow's races?
I think the mud, more just because of where it's positioned right at the top of that hill. Your quads are going to be burning when you get up the hill, and then you've got to go through the mud pit. And I think if you're trying to use your power, you're just double hitting your quads there, and then you're going to slam the downhill. So I think the mud is the most challenging, mainly because of where it's situated in the loop.
Alors, Jimmy, la question était de tous les obstacles qu'il y a sur la piste demain, lequel va être le plus difficile, lequel te fait le plus peur?
Je ne sais pas parce que j'ai pas encore vu le parcours. Bon, j'ai vu qu'il y avait des crocodiles sur le parcours. C'est plus les crocodiles qui me font peur pour l'instant.
So he says that he arrived a little bit late, so he hasn't had time to see the course yet, but he's most afraid of the crocodiles.
Well, I haven't run the course yet, but I've seen it on a video. So I'll say the same thing with Jess. The mud is going to be hard because it's easy to, I mean, anything can happen. It's easy to lose your shoes or, yeah, that's the hardest part.
Okay, we have time for one last question, please.
This question is for Weini. You've focused a lot on the half marathon in the last couple of years. Do you plan to get back into that soon after World Cross? Thank you.
Yes. So I'm just going to be focusing on this one right now, but right after this, I have to train for another half marathon that I'm going to be running in February.
Thank you very much. We can do one last photo op if you like with the athletes. And then thank you all for being here. And we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful championships. Thank you.